Yo guys, what's poppin'? It's your boy Tacho here, and we're back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes. Okay, so it's Datamine time, and we have the stats for the new Christmas units, as well as a couple of other things that I want to talk about. So we're going to go ahead and go over all that stuff today, and just preemptively, I want to give an apology to everybody if I don't have my normal energy for this video. But your boy was just outside shoveling snow for like an hour. We're currently in this snowstorm thing in New York, so pretty bad weather. And I just got inside and I'm like all frozen and tired and stuff. But then I saw the data mines had dropped, so it's like, okay, I guess no rest for the wicked, as they say. So let's just go ahead and knock this out so I can go ahead and get some sleep. And we're going to start things off with the queen herself, Altina. So, Altina, we saw her stats on the trailer yesterday, but I'm just going to go ahead and go over them once again. So, she's got 42 health, 40 attack, 18 speed, 37 defense, and 39 res, for a grand total BST of 176, and then she has a super boon in attack. So, honestly, she's not all that much different from the old Altina. It's basically just higher stat points in basically everything, and then everything else is going to be the same for the most part. The only major difference is that the old one is a flying type unit. And of course, there are a whole bunch of advantages to flying mobility. You can avoid obstacles, and it's just really good. But other than that, like, this infantry Altina is going to be better in like every other regard. She's got access to a better stat line. She has access to better skills, like Null Sea Disrupt, for example. And then she also has access to a duo skill as well. So, like, there's no reason why you would use the old Altina over this one. Unless you're trying to raise your score and she's like your only mythic hero or something. But this is going to be a better version of Altina, I think. Also, another cool thing is that you can use blessings on her to raise her stats. One of the downsides to the old Altina. So if you want to use her as a carry unit for Aether Raids, she's going to be able to get the job done a whole lot easier. And with access to Null Sea Disrupt and Vantage from her Harmonize skill, it's going to be really easy to just shred entire teams with this Altina. So definitely watch out for her. I think she's going to be really good. The only downside, though, is that her Harmonize skill only gives her Vantage, while everyone else is getting Resonant Blades. So similar to Lucina and Mia. But the Vantage effect is way better to get from the Duo skill anyway, or the Harmonized skill rather, because there's no HP requirements, so you don't have to worry about setting her up. And you can basically just throw her at the foes and watch her go to town. So pretty awesome. Okay, next up we have Hilda, who is going to be the 4-star demote on the banner. And I gotta be honest, guys, I'm very impressed with the stats on this Hilda. She's got 44 HP, 39 attack, 38 speed, 37 defense, and then 26 res, for a grand total BST of, get this, 184. As in, she ties with Brave Edelgard almost. Like, that's really bananas that they decided to give a 4-star unit such a good BST. I was thinking maybe she'd be in like the 180 range, but then they were like, nope, let's go ahead and make this a Merry Christmas to all the Hilda fans out there, and make her relatively easy to get as a 4-star summon, and then give her this really good BST. Also, she has super boons in both attack and res, so if you wanted to have her hit a whole lot harder, with her supposed noodle arms that aren't supposed to hit that hard. I mean, Hilda is just being a lazy bum. She can definitely fight, she just doesn't want to. And then her res is going to be nice if you want to go for plus res. So she'd be able to tank hits a little bit better. Now, really quick, I want to bring this to you guys' attention. So this is the score calculator. And if you guys care about arena scoring and raising your score in that mode, this is going to be an example of where the new Hilda is going to rank up. So, as I said, Edelgard is a pretty good example to use in place of Hilda. At plus 10 merges, they have virtually the same BST. The only difference is that Edelgard has access to a perf weapon and a perf B-slot skill. So I've gone ahead and changed them both to normally inheritable skills like Hilda's going to get. And she ends up with a unit score of 756, which is going to beat out other classic arena units like Surtur and then also the Ninja Hana. And she ties with Duo Byleth and a whole bunch of other Duo units that go up to 185. Unfortunately, Ninja Lin is in her own tier with that 190 BST score. But all of the other Duo skill units are going to score as high as Hilda. So really impressive that they decided to give this unit the 4-star treatment. And not only that, but she has very interesting skills as well. She's got even follow-up in the B slot and then attack and defense form. So if you wanted to fodder her for some reason, she definitely has some value for that as well. So right now, I'm honestly undecided if I want to summon on the banner and try to go for the plus 10 on Hilda. I do still care about arena scoring a little bit, even though Ninja Lin really turned me off to the mode. But it would be nice to get a plus 10 Hilda to help my score out a bit more. So I still have to think about whether or not I'm going to summon. But I will admit that triple sparking that they're letting us do on the banner is very enticing to me. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, next up we have Bernadetta. And I guess before we even talk about Bernadetta's stats and all of that, I just want to talk about her weapon real quick. So in the trailer the other day where I brought up that she does the -1 chip damage to herself and allies within 2 spaces. At the time that I was watching the video, I was like trying to think of all the applications for it. But of course, I was watching the video for the first time, so it wasn't really going to sink in too well at that point. But then like 20% of the comment section on that video was just correcting me about all the applications that Bernadetta's weapon may have. So with the chip damage in tow, you're going to be able to really mess with enemy weapons that require you to be on full HP. The biggest offender of that being Legendary Chrom. So it's always nice to give that guy the middle finger. And also on top of that, if you have unit weapons that are going to activate when you're not on full HP, like in the case of the old Bernadetta and also the Brave Lysithea, it's going to be pretty nice to be able to just set them up right out the gates. So Bernie's weapon is like a setup weapon, and however much you want to value that, I guess is going to be up to you. I personally don't think it's worth a team slot, because, like, I never really had a problem getting, like, Brave Lysithea down on HP anyway. She already comes with attack and speed push 4, so it's not too hard for her to get the full weapon effect in the first place. But if you want to do it a little bit faster, I guess Bernadetta isn't too bad for that. Okay, but we rambled on there a little bit. So her stats, she's going to have a little bit less stats than the other units because she's cavalry type. But she's got 39 HP, 36 attack, 40 speed, 19 defense, and 23 res for a grand total of 157. And then she has a super boon in speed. So Bernie is basically just a glass cannon once again. And unlike the old Bernie that sort of had an out to that, where she had built-in desperation on her weapon, she could just hit the foes twice in a row and hopefully finish them off before she gets hit. This Bernadetta is not going to have no such luck. She does get 30% damage reduction on the foe's first attack, but that's not really going to be protecting her quite as well as the desperation effect, I think. So I'm not really sure how I feel about this Bernie just yet, but I know she is a very popular character, so definitely don't let me be the Scrooge McDuck and put you off to summoning for Bernie if you like her. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to Sephiran now. Okay, so Sephiran is an armored staff unit, the second of which that we've gotten. The first one was Winter Erica. So it's nice to finally get another option for that. And he's got 43 HP, 42 attack, 21 speed, 29 defense, and 40 res for a grand total BST of 175. And then he's got a super boon in res. So pretty solid. Tons and tons of attack and res. So this guy is going to be hitting like a freaking truck. And then he's going to be tanking magic like a boss. So Sephiran definitely got done some good justice here. I think the main takeaway from him, though, is definitely going to be his C-slot skill. If you like using staff units, then I think you're definitely going to want to inherit that skill on them. An AoE heal to your units within 2 spaces of plus 20 is just like nuts. And then it also removes penalties on top of that. So it's like using Restore without wasting your action, which is pretty awesome. And last but not least, we have Felix, a unit that a lot of people were very excited for. And I think it's nice that he's the freebie, so we're going to be able to just get him right away and not have to summon. And this guy's stats are 44 HP, 38 attack, 37 speed, 32 defense, and 29 res, for a grand total of 180. But unfortunately, because Felix is not a waifu, he doesn't get a perf weapon, and he doesn't get any super boons. The waifu bias really has to stop. Like, come on, wasn't Felix good for it? He was like one of the most popular characters from 3 houses, so they totally could have given this guy a couple extra bones there. But I guess it's all good. He's still very solid, of course, and 180 BST on a ranged unit is really nuts for free-to-play. Also, he's a blue bow unit, so he's going to have some viability in Pawns of Loki if you want to try to get that matching set and have some different weapon types. So I think he could be a very good plus 10 merge project if people are looking for that. And of course, being a bow unit, he's got access to Spendthrift Bow and Budding Bow and like all these crazy other bows, Helm Bow, etc. So it's not going to be too hard to build Felix if you're looking to give him some good stuff. And if we go over here and take a look at the skills that he comes with, he's got Reindeer Bow Plus, which is going to be inheritable. And it's effective against flying, like all bows. And if unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack and defense up 5. And also inflicts guard on the foes per attack. So, pretty solid effect. It basically is just Guilt Fork except for bows. And instead of negating your attack and defense penalties, it's just inflicting guard. So, not too shabby. And then he's also got Glimmer, Swift Sparrow 2, and Dull Range 3. Now, they could have really made this a Merry Christmas if they had given him Swift Sparrow 3. I think we're just long overdue for better skills for free-to-play inheritance. And I have no idea why they're so opposed to just giving us something. Anything to get away from the boring Fury 3 and Desperation stuff that we're running on basically all of our budget options if they're offensive units. So, a little unfortunate, but, I mean, Swift Sparrow 2 is still pretty solid. And really the main thing about Felix is his stat line and how well he's going to perform at higher merges. We also have the information for the prizes from this round of Tempest Trials. So we're going to be getting Fortress Defense and Res 1 as a Sacred Seal, as well as Mystic Boost. Now, the thing about Fortress Defense and Res, you're only going to be able to level it up to level 2. So, no level 3 Fortress Defense and Res, unfortunately. But still, Fortress Defense and Res 2, not too shabby of a Sacred Seal. The real thing, though, is Mystic Boost. This is very interesting, because Mystic Boost is one of the rarest skills in the game. I believe it's only Air and the duo Micaiah that come with this. And they're not typically units you would want to sacrifice for fodder in the first place. So, having this as a Sacred Seal is going to be pretty awesome. It's a very good skill to counter staff units, because it's going to negate Wrathful Staff, and then you're getting plus 6 HP on top of that after any round of combat. So just really good overall. And there's a lot of units that can do some crazy stuff with Mystic Boost. Alm, for example, who has Double Lion on his Refine. If he has Mystic Boost, he can just keep on using Double Lion over and over again. So there are some units out there that really benefit from Mystic Boost a lot. And just in general, I think Mystic Boost is way better to have as a Sacred Seal than actually running it as a B-slot skill. There's so much competition in the B-slot now, where we get damage reduction, or null follow-up, or null C-disrupt, or lull skills, etc. To the point where Mystic Boost wasn't really all that optimal to have as a B-slot. But for a Sacred Seal, this is definitely going to be very good, and I think it's going to see a whole lot of play. So make sure you grind up Tempest Trials and get this, because this is definitely going to be a very good prize for everybody. And that just about covers all of the things that I wanted to talk about today. We also have information on the next round of Hall of Forms, where it is in fact going to be themed on TMS. So that's going to be interesting, but we'll save that for another video. And that's pretty much it for now. So this is your boy Tacho signing out. Thanks so much to everyone for watching the video. And I am going to go ahead and go to bed now because I am very tired. So take care, fellas. And I will catch y'all again on the flip side.